Greetings and welcome to another edition of Political Empire. I'm your host, Kim Pearsall with the Press Enterprise and PE.com. We're going to talk about an interesting donation from a former inland lawmaker, and then we're going to talk about why President Obama really hasn't visited the Inland Empire at all during his presidency and during the campaign. So first, Brulte backs Brown. Former Republican state lawmaker Jim Brulte either really likes Cheryl Brown or really doesn't like Inland Congressman Joe Baca. Brulte has backed Democrat Brown, publisher of the Black Voice News, in her campaign against Baca's son for the 47th Assembly District with a $3,900 donation. Brulte and Baca Sr. served in the state legislature together during most of the 90s and didn't get along. Apparently, Brulte didn't mind having his name misspelled 4 out of 5 times in the press release from Brown's campaign announcing the donation. He, along with former San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown and inland lawmakers Bob Dutton and Bill Emerson, are fundraising for Brown today. And now we're going to talk to our Washington correspondent Ben Goad a little bit about why President Obama hasn't really made an Inland Empire appearance. In his latest trip to Southern California, less than a month before the election, it was no surprise that he wasn't around and it wasn't on his itinerary. He hasn't visited Riverside or San Bernardino County once in his presidency, the first president who hasn't given the Empire a try since before Jimmy Carter. So, Ben, thanks so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on. How do we know that Obama's never stopped in the Inland Empire before?
Well, first off, I've been covering the Washington beat for the paper for the last 5 years, and White House gives daily press advisories of the president's every move, and so I was able to tell that way. But as a backstop, I also spoke with a political scientist from the U.S. Naval Academy named Brandon Doherty. Mr. Doherty has compiled 35 years worth of data related to presidential travel, and he was able to confirm that while Obama has come close to the area, as close as Pomona, he has not yet traveled to either San Bernardino or Riverside counties, which together make up one of the largest metro areas in the country. It's 4 million people.
That's got to be a heck of a spreadsheet, too, that they've got at the U.S. Naval Research Center. Curious, he's stopped at other hard-hit areas during the recession. He stopped at Elkhart, Indiana, and so forth, and that's been kind of a rallying cry during the campaign, is the recession and how he's going to solve it. Why not the Inland Empire?
Well, really, there's a couple of reasons politically that could explain this. First off, California is going to go for him, almost certainly in November. Doherty's research showed that presidents, especially Bush and Obama, the last Bush and Obama, spent a lot more time in swing states, even early in their terms. So, what we have here is sort of a permanent campaign that's happened. And it's not like Obama has completely ignored California, which is the other reason, money. Presidential candidates on both sides of the aisle have used California as basically a big ATM machine where they can pop in and out, have a few fundraisers, and pick up millions of bucks. And they usually look to L.A. and the Bay Area as places where they can kind of get the most bang for their buck there.
True. Well, Ben, thanks so much for the update on why perhaps we hadn't seen Obama in the Inland Empire for this campaign and during his presidency. And hey, who knows? If he's reelected, maybe we'll see him then. I don't know. But Ben, thanks so much for joining us today. And thank you for watching another edition of Political Empire. We'll see you tomorrow.